The Indian consumers thinking their brains out is amazing. So they have placed an order for iPhone 7 and they have returned iPhone 6.
What is Shadowfax? What does the name signify?
Shadowfax is Gandalf's horse. It is the fastest, swiftest, and the most reliable horse in the entire trilogy that is there.
When you started in 2014, why was the idea still novel?
We interacted with the restaurant operators. They said that I'm getting more demand, but I'm not able to actually service it. Their core job should not be to do logistics.
So this is the very sanitized version of this Vaibhav. असली वाली कहानी बताइए.
We used to meet over the weekends. रात के 1 बजे आपको भूख लग रही है. Now, how do you get your food delivered?
What was the first reaction when you said, I'm leaving my well-paying job?
My dad was like कि मतलब पागल हो गया है क्या? Second problem that he told me कि यार you are working with blue-collared people. Managing them at scale, it would be nightmare.
Welcome to this very special episode of The Disruptor. The guest on my show today is at the heart of what you would describe the new consumer habits in India right now. We want everything delivered fast, today, and preferably inside 15 minutes. Now, one of the companies making that happen and actually a leader in that space is Shadowfax. And I'm speaking today with Vaibhav Khandelwal, co-founder of Shadowfax on The Disruptor. Vaibhav, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for the invite. Happy to be here.
Okay, so the first clue about Shadowfax and something we discovered in our pre-chat is that aap sab Lord of the Rings ke bade fan ho. So for those who do not know, what is Shadowfax? What does the name signify?
So Shadowfax is Gandalf's horse. So in Lord of the Rings movie, Gandalf the White, not the Gandalf the Grey. Now those who are pro fans of Lord of the Rings, they would realize the difference between these two. When Gandalf the White comes in, he takes his horse. And that horse name is Shadowfax. It is the fastest, swiftest, and the most reliable horse in the entire trilogy that is there. So that's how we thought our name. I mean, we started with thinking about Chetak, but then Chetak domain wasn't available. So
there's already a bike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we started thinking, what's a good name? And then some of us, we were very good LOTR fans. So then Shadowfax came in. And since then, I mean, all our servers, all our databases, all our services, everything is named after Lord of the Rings characters. And they all make sense.
Do you hire anyone at senior level who does not know anything about Lord of the Rings, or they're completely rejected?
We get them a crash course done.
Wow. Okay, so if you want to work at Shadowfax, you need to be a Lord of the Rings fan. Okay, let's start with just describing what this company does. I mean, we know the statistics, 125,000 people delivering a month, active delivery partners. You are in, I think, most PIN codes across India. But what at its core does this company do? What is Shadowfax?
So at the core of it, Shadowfax sits as a balancer of two marketplaces. So on the one side, you have delivery partners or people who have bike and an Android phone, who are willing to earn money by delivering shipments. It could be by delivering shipments, it could be by delivering people as well, or transporting people in that sense. On the other side, there are businesses who want to deliver to the end customer. So this could be a food marketplace like a Swiggy or a Zomato. It could be a pharmacy player. It could be a grocery player. And it could be a traditional Flipkart, Amazon kind of a e-commerce platform as well. So the demand side wants more and more things to be delivered to the end customer. And on the other side, there is a good pool of supply that is available who are willing to get certain tasks done. What Shadowfax does is it tries to bridge those gaps and ensure that at the end of the day, your your e-commerce platforms, your digital platforms are able to deliver service to do a last mile service to the end customer in a very cost effective manner, in a manner that is focused on speed, and in a manner that is focused on very high levels of customer experience.
So now when you started, and here's where the disruptive part comes out, because in today's day and age, people watching this are going to think that yes, people on two-wheelers delivering things is something which is a part of the entire ecosystem. A lot of people are doing it. Some companies do it in-house. There are other, service providers like yourselves. But when you started in 2014, why was the idea still novel?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, when we look back 10 years down the lane, we still think that how did we actually came up with this idea? So the interesting part at that point in time, Abhishek and I, we were both in Mumbai, and we used to meet.
Abhishek is your co-founder.
Abhishek is my co-founder. There are Praharsh and Gaurav are the other two co-founders. So both of Abhishek and I, we were in Mumbai at that point in time, and over the weekends we used to meet and interact a lot of offline merchants. We used to ask them what are their pain points, or how can we help them scale better. So at that point in time, the interesting part was that the likes of Food Panda and Tiny, all these were the apps which were mushrooming at that point in time. And when we interacted with the restaurant operators, they said that I'm getting more demand, but I'm not able to actually service it. And that's where it clicked to us that more and more businesses would want to service to the end customer, but it won't be easy for them to hire delivery partners on their own or manage delivery partners on their own. Their core job is to maybe make burgers or maybe make pizza. Their core job should not be to do logistics. And if there can be a single entity which can service all of these guys, then that is a very good, profitable setup.
So this is the very sanitized version of this. This is started during a late night session जब आपको कुछ मंगाना था और कोई deliver नहीं करना था. Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
So tell us that story. असली वाली कहानी बताइए.
असली वाली कहानी यही थी कि मतलब generally we used to meet over the weekends, तो late night conversations चलती थी. अब रात के 1 बजे आपको भूख लग रही है. Now how do you get your food delivered? And that's where we thought कि हाँ यार, कोई एक बिजनेस है, कोई एक रेस्टोरेंट है जो खुला हुआ है, लेकिन यार अब हमें जाके उससे लेके आना है. इंस्टेड उसकी जगह अगर वो हमें लाके दे दे तो दैट वुड बी एन इंटरेस्टिंग प्लॉय. तो हम हमारे फ्रेंड से भी पूछने लगे कि हाँ, विल यू लाइक सच काइंड ऑफ अ सर्विस, एंड उसी तरीके से आइडिया बिल्ड होता गया.
So yeah, you're a B2B2C company, which means there's a business that wants to service the end customer, and you are the guys in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now tell us how that journey actually progressed from there, because the idea sounds great, and in hindsight, it sounds like a no-brainer, right? But obviously, the distance between 2014 and 2025 was not such an easy one, is it?
So lot of interesting parts there. So when we were starting, so as I was telling you earlier, so when we were starting in the initial days, nobody in my family actually agreed to this idea. They felt that it is a very bad idea that you are trying to chase. And in order
You
to...
were working at that time?
Yes, I was working.
Can I ask where?
So I was working in Mumbai in System 2 Advisors. So that's a US-based hedge fund.
Okay.
So
mota paisa, good
mota
salary.
paisa, acha paisa, good work, good data science work that I was working at, good team as well. So in order to test their patience, so I told them that I have left my job even without putting down the papers.
To your parents?
To my parents, so that I can get their reactions out, what they are actually thinking about this idea. And then the drama started. So
tell us what happened. What was the first reaction when you said, I'm leaving my well-paying job in Mumbai to start a delivery service?
So my dad was shocked. My dad was like कि मतलब पागल हो गया है क्या? So his words were, and at that point in time, his major concerns were कि यार nobody pays for delivery. Delivery should be a free delivery thing. So how much money can you actually make? And how many deliveries actually happen? So I come from Jaipur, and in Jaipur at that point in time, and even till today as well, अगर कुछ आपको सामान लेके आना होता है तो mostly somebody from the house goes and picks it up. Because that is possible in a city like Jaipur. Bangalore, Mumbai, it's not that possible. So he's like a unfeasible idea. The second problem that he told me कि यार you are working with blue collared people. Now these are delivery partners, blue collared guys, and managing them at scale, it would be nightmare. Because they have different ways of working, and I mean, so his exact words were like, you may get you may get money, you may get fame, but you will never get peace of mind.
Was it true? Was he proven wrong or right? Clearly people are paying for delivery, तो उस part में मतलब आप जीत गए.
तो वो वाला जीत गए. दूसरा वाले part में actually one good friend, he gave a very nice advice. So Aziz, a very good friend of both of us, Abhishek and I, and college senior, same hostel again. So he said कि यार, he asked me a question, why do blue collar guys behave like blue collar people, and white collar people behave like white collar people? It's because the contract is mutual. So if you are telling a white collar guy that I will pay you a notice period if you leave, the same person will also give you a resignation letter beforehand, rather than leave all of a sudden. And if you give the right benefits to these blue collar guys, if you ensure that their salaries or payouts are given on time, they have clear transparency of what they're making, they have a growth path, then they'll also start behaving like a white collar person. When we look back and see, and the reason why we are excited about this is that in a country like India, roughly 2 lakh delivery partners, they work with us. We are giving them an opportunity to make money, to earn money out
Give
there.
us a statistic. How many deliveries per hour or per day do you actually facilitate?
So we do close to 2.5 to 3 million orders on a daily basis.
Wow.
We are present in around 2,500 cities of the country. And yeah, I mean, we work with almost all the major consumer brands that are there.
One major brand is also an investor, Flipkart.
Yes.
So how did that investment journey begin?
So yeah, investment. So moving on from that initial debacle of my parents,
मम्मी पापा को समझा
हाँ
दिया.
समझ गए किसी तरीके से चीज शुरू हुई. 2015 was good, fortunate for us. We raised seed round, and then we were able to raise Series A as well at that point in time. And the interesting part was कि उस टाइम पे लोगों को लगा कि hyper local delivery is the next Uber. So the next set of Ubers will actually come in from hyper local delivery. And we were one of them. So at that point in time, हमारा aim simple ये था 30 minute में food deliver करना है.
Okay.
That was our
And
single
it
aim.
was, so it was 30 minutes and it was food.
Yes. And हमें लगा कि it's a very big market, आराम से बढ़िया business बनेगा, and nothing to worry, and everything is good.
No one else will think of this idea.
Exactly. Apart from just 16, 17 competitors of us.
That's it.
तो yeah, 2015 में ऐसा चल रहा था. We had lot of good competitors, and we were selling our deliveries as, I mean, the rates that at which we were doing deliveries at that point in time, they are even lower than what we are doing at scale right now.
Okay.
So, and a lot of these businesses actually shut shop in 2016.
So cash burn.
Cash
Initial
burn,
was just
massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
How much did वो एक होता है ना कि नए स्टार्टअप में पैसे खूब फूकते हैं.
हाँ.
How much was the cash burn, which you think in hindsight needn't have gone that way?
A lot, actually. So, I mean, a lot of things were out of. So, for example, we did not have a very good receivable process. So, we had to, some crores of rupees we had to cancel up as bad debt. We are not able to collect it from the merchants, and we have to shut shop with them. Either you pay us money or we are closing it out. So, a lot of money actually got spent. And to be honest, 2016 was a very good period. I mean, while it was very bad from a fundraising perspective, it was also very bad from a perspective that we had to cut down our team. But it was good in a sense that we realized कि यार, I mean, if I put it in a very blatant way, इस धंधे को run कैसे करना है?
Give me an example of a big lesson that, as a business you learned that wouldn't seem obvious at first?
So again, so one interesting part that we understood at that point in time was that I mean, we felt that initially you need to start building in a brand, or in the initial days. So, and this is something very personal that I believe in. So in the initial days, people focused on, you need to have the right strategy, you need to have the right brand to get in and out there. So we kind of spent a bit on building our brand. So our cluster managers who used to be on ground to onboard sellers, we used to actually give them iPads so that it looks that it's a good big company which is doing well. But what we realized is that at least in the initial 3-4 years, it is all about execution. It is all about execution. Just put your head down, do the basics well, just execute it. Go deep into those execution pointers. Those strategies, those brands, they will build up if you are executing well. You do not have to go out of your way in order to achieve those things.
So the iPad gifting has stopped now.
Yeah,
I assume.
absolutely.
I realize that's not what you need to
No.
spend on. Okay, just let me talk a bit about the scenario and how that changed very quickly. So if I look at your journey from what you've told me, Vaibhav, so you start with a superb idea, and you realize very quickly that the moat is not that high. It's a fantastic idea, but others are having it as well. And others are figuring out delivery as well. And then you're in a country where there is no dearth of people to go and deliver. Right? And then there is demand that is growing as well. So now how do you distinguish yourself? Here's the tricky part.
Yes. So so that was our journey in 2016 actually. We realized that the food market is not that big for us, or hasn't matured it yet. So the likes of Swiggy, Zomato, when they came in, they actually grew that industry well. But at that point in time, the online food ordering market hadn't matured. So we realized कि उतनी demand है नहीं. Then we realized that it is very peaky in nature. So people order food on lunch and dinner hours. For the rest of the time
late night वाले आप लोग ही थे.
हाँ
इतने थे नहीं.
तो उस हिसाब से यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स आपकी स्ट्रेंट होने लग गई थी. So that's where we started contemplating, and one good thing that stuck for us so far is we started initially, when we were starting initially, we had this hypothesis that if you can deliver food in 30 minutes, you can deliver a lot of other things. So that's where we partnered with the likes of Big Basket, for example, because when is grocery ordered? Before lunch and before dinner.
Yeah.
And then even in the leaner hours, then we started partnering with the regular e-commerce players. Okay, in the leaner hours, let's deliver these e-commerce packets. So the same resource, we are trying to flatten the curve. So instead of being a peaky curve, we tried to flatten it. And that's how we were able to differentiate ourselves as compared to other competitors. It's not only about food, it's about last
that's
mile
what
delivery.
Everyone is doing. Everyone is also trying to flatten the curve.
So yeah, exactly. So everyone wants to flatten the curve, but when you look at consumer platforms, in India, consumer platforms haven't scaled in, I mean, in India in general, people like to have specialized app for specialized use cases.
Yes.
So if you look at, for example, Zomato and Blinkit, they try to keep different fleets for them because it's difficult to, I mean, they try to actually even keep different apps as well.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to create that right balance out there.
And I think the other also, advancements, because you're also CTO. So the other advancements and what I thought was interesting, I'd like to know about, is your maps which you're using, which is your SF map. These are your own logistical tools, right?
So the problem of locations, for example, all our systems, all our Google Maps, everything, they understand lat-long, latitude, longitude. Now, when you place an order on a typical e-commerce platform or any D2C brand, you just enter in your address string. You do not share the current location out of it, because that order may be delivered today, may get delivered in a couple of days. So platforms do not actually ask you for location. Now, in absence of locations, all your algorithms cannot work. Now, I mean, in the recent times, for example, Government of India has also launched DigiPin, because they also understand that in India, the concept of PIN code itself is very confusing. I mean, quite some time back, Gurgaon was just one PIN code. And so it's very difficult to pinpoint to a particular location in the Indian ecosystem. So what we have tried to build in is from the historical data that we have. So we have delivered close to 2.5 billion orders so far. We have tried to train our models on it and able to identify that if a given new address is there, what is the latitude, longitude of that?
So your own version of Google Maps, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our own version of Google Maps.
Now, what is the accuracy compared to what's available out there?
Yeah, so we have benchmarked it ourselves from Google Maps, Map My India, other players as well. So we hit a accuracy close to 92%, which basis our test is the best that we are getting it from all the other players that are there.
Okay, so your maps for your work is more accurate than the others.
Yes.
So you can actually scale this to help people look at the traffic on their routes.
Yes.
It can be a spin-off product as well. Okay, but so because you're in the thick of these things, very keen to understand how you're looking at this whole quick delivery, let's get faster, let's get more delivered quicker kind of scenario going on. And it's not without its pitfalls. You're seeing regulatory action on dark stores and how they are being kept. You're seeing problems with expecting this kind of 15-minute delivery. You're seeing what's happening to balance sheets of large companies that are trying to deliver. Do you think it's sustainable?
To be honest, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So my thought process here is that customers are willing to have a faster delivery setup. When we are talking to different brands out there, they're like, our customers are saying that I would want to purchase your product. I know that it is a very good product. I may not need it in 15 minutes, but if you tell me that it will be delivered in 2 to 3 days, I may purchase a competitor product which is inferior in nature.
Because it's
because
coming
of the
faster.
Yes, because of the need for speed. So brands are saying ki my customers, not all customers actually need everything in 15 minutes. They may get on the same day. So for example, in South Korea, one of the interesting model that works is that you order by midnight and before you leave for office, those shipments are delivered. So the need for speed exists for people. Now it is up to us as businesses how we want to crack it in a sustainable way.
I'm talking about what's happening in India right now. And you're saying it's sustainable, but especially for groceries, quality becomes a question. Safety on the roads becomes a question. From an investor perspective, the amount of cash burn becomes a question. Because if everyone is competing, then that's more dark stores, more delivery fleet. To what end? Many of these companies are yet to show a profit.
Yes. So, see, these are challenges. These are fair challenges. Now, competitive pressure is a real problem in India. As and when these platforms mature more or the customers mature more,
You think
for example,
there'll be consolidation?
I do see that.
Not everyone will last.
I do
quick
see
commerce?
that. So, for example, as you mentioned, the quality of fruits and vegetables that are available on there. The moment the customers are picky about it, that I am not worried about how much are you selling, I am worried about what is the quality of it. The moment the industry tries to mature in that sense, I do see consolidation will happen. And in that consolidation, the people who will be able to execute well, they'll be able to survive. Personally, I feel, and basis our understanding of the numbers, the unit metrics that these quick commerce players have, I personally do see that once the competition intensity streamlines, they will roll out good profits.
And speaking of profitability, that's something you've managed to turn in FY24. Turn EBITDA positive for the first time, recorded a PAT as well.
Yes.
Is that looking like it's sustaining for FY25? Has it sustained for FY25?
Yes.
I don't have the latest numbers. You don't have to share them yet.
Yes.
Because you're not quite listed.
Yes.
But in case you want to share something.
So, see, I'm not allowed to share the exact numbers here. But the good part is that we are growing well. And we are growing profitably.
You're maintaining an EBITDA positive.
Yes, we are maintaining EBITDA positive. We are actually trying to improve the percentage of EBITDA as well.
And you're heading for an IPO.
Yes.
This financial year or this calendar year?
Uh, I mean, see, an IPO requires a lot of people's blessing.
Yeah.
The moment the right blessings come in, we should be.
But you're all geared up too.
We are all geared up.
So what is that one exciting story? Because you've now been around for 10 plus years. You have marquee investors who've already been sold on your story. You know what you're doing. But when you go IPO, people want to know what next. What's the next growth trajectory?
There is good amount of depth that is there in what we are doing. We need to keep our heads down and just focus on our core business. The core business is having good potential. Now, as a startup or as any company, we also tend to invest on some moonshot ideas or some ideas where the next set of growth will come in. So we are bullish on certain themes in that direction. There.
What's one moonshot idea you can share with me?
So see, I mean, at this moment, we are trying out some initiatives around drone delivery. So personally, I feel that in the next 3 to 5 year horizon, we should be seeing a good bunch of it happening. Maybe not to the end customer, but from the warehouse outside Mumbai to a dark store within Mumbai, those kind of movements will get facilitated via drones.
And that this could happen in another 3 years, not too futuristic.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me, 3 to 5 years is a fair horizon.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe not the end customer yet. वो drone वापस ही नहीं करेंगे.
End customer is a different ball game.
What is one funny story or one learning about the end customer that you can share with us?
So there is a common perception कि यार अगर logistics में कुछ सामान चोरी हुआ है या गलत item receive हुआ है, so we do a lot of reverse logistics, for example. Reverse logistics is pick up of the item there. So a lot of times people think कि यार delivery boy ने कुछ गड़बड़ की है and so on. The kind of cases that we see with the Indian consumers thinking their brains out is amazing. Matlab, earlier we used to see people in colleges, they used to place orders from Domino's from 3 different places. Whichever used to come the last, they used to take that because it would get delayed by more than 30 minutes. So they would get a free delivery. In pickup, what we have seen, people have returned their iPhone. So they have placed an order for iPhone 7 and they have returned iPhone 6. There have been cases where now this has happened in a metropolitan city. That's a interesting part. The customers, they have held our delivery boy captive कि जब तक रिफंड नहीं आएगा हम इसको जाने नहीं देंगे.
तो छुड़ाया कैसे
फिर उनको समझा के कि यार हम नहीं देते रिफंड, कोई और देगा तुम्हें रिफंड.
So yeah, good luck with dealing with the Indian customer and many more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure and more speed to the Shadowfax journey.
Thank you so much.